বন্ধুরা, শুভ সময়। আজকে আরো একটা নতুন লাইভে আমাদের সাথে থাকবেন দুজন বন্ধু। আমাদের সাথে রয়েছেন ইলিয়াস আহমেদ এবং আমাদের সাথে রয়েছেন তুর্কির বন্ধু। ইলিয়াস ভাই, শুভ সময়। আপনি কেমন আছেন?
শুভ সময়। ধন্যবাদ মমিন ভাই। ওয়েলকাম টু আওয়ার কমরেড ফ্রম তুর্কি। হ্যাঁ
জি ইলিয়াস ভাই, কন্টিনিউ করেন।
ওর সাথে কি অনুবাদকারী আসছে?
হ্যাঁ, আসতে আসতে।
ওকে, উপস্থাপনা কি আপনি করবেন না আমি করব?
আপনি করেন।
ওকে, ধন্যবাদ। ওনার নাম যেন কি? Mehrali. Okay, comrade, we are already in on the air. So thank you very much to join our Facebook page. It's not a famous Facebook page, but here we have some comrades who really want to change the situation all over the world, one world without exploitation. So we are trying to inform our peoples by this platform in our country peoples and problems from all over the world to show in our Facebook page. So we can start if you agree.
Yes, comrade. We can start.
Okay, we have one another comrade you introduced already with him a moment, and someone will coming. So we can give you floor to talk about the situation, worker situation in Turkey, about their lives, their work, their education, everything. You can talk us within 15 minutes.
Okay. Türkiye'deki işçilerin yaşamıyla ilgili sizden 5-10 dakikalık bir bilgi almak istiyoruz. Bunların yaşantılarıyla ilgili ücretler, eğitimler vesaire.
Evet. Ya biz de öncelikle programımıza dahil ettiğiniz için, konuk ettiğiniz için teşekkür ederiz sendikamız adına.
First of all, on behalf of Nakliyat İş Union, we also thank you for inviting us to this valuable program.
Yani sendika olarak biz uluslararası sınıf dayanışmasına önem veren bir sendikayız. Bu anlamda sendikamız genel başkanı da bildiğiniz gibi DSF'nin başkanlık kurulu üyesi, aynı zamanda genel başkan yardımcısı. Türkiye'de de uluslararası sınıf dayanışması adına en fazla eylem yapan, destek veren bir sendikayız. Bu anlamda da Türkiye'de de uluslararası sendikamızın yapmış olduğu eylemlere destek veriliyor. Bu anlamda dediğim gibi önem verdiğimiz bir konudur uluslararası sınıf dayanışması.
So, for Nakliyat, I would like to introduce Nakliyat İş Union. Firstly, we are a union which gives so much importance to international solidarity among all the peoples and workers in the world. So we have organized a lot of solidarity actions in Turkey in solidarity with other workers all over the world. I would like to inform you that our president, Ali Rıza Küçükosmanoğlu, is the vice president of WFTU, World Federation of Trade Unions, and he is also the general secretary of TUI, Transport, Ports, Fishery and Communication. So, as I said, it's a very important topic for us to unite all the workers in the world. And then now I will go on with the situation of the workers in Turkey.
Evet, şimdi Türkiye'de de dünyada yaşanılan işçi sınıfının sorunları, Türkiye'de de benzer sorunlar bir anlamda yaşıyoruz. Tabii özellikle son dönem pandemi süreciyle birlikte pandeminin faturası tüm dünyada olduğu gibi işçi sınıfı, Türkiye'de de işçi sınıfına çıkartılmak isteniyor. Özellikle son dönemdeki işte Ukrayna-Rusya savaşı arasındaki o savaş dönemiyle birlikte Türkiye'de enflasyon da çok yükselmiş durumda. Bugün ülkemizde işçiler gerçekten hani dünyada da birçok yerde var. Asgari ücret bizde çok düşük. Bu anlamda asgari ücretle çalışan işçi sayısı yüzdelik olarak %80 oranında asgari ücretle çalışıyor işçiler. Evet. Şu anda yani çevrim yapacağız.
So at this point, I would like to give you some information about the situation of the workers in Turkey. Dear brothers and sisters, the situation of the workers in Turkey is not independent from the workers in all over the world. For example, in the last period, we had a coronavirus pandemic period, as you all know, and the capitalist class tried to put all the burden of the pandemic on the shoulders of the workers, just as in all over the world. At the same time, currently, as you know, there is a war between Russia and Ukraine, and as a result of this war, the inflation rate is very high in Turkey, and purchasing power of the people in Turkey, and especially the workers, is decreasing day by day. At the same time, the minimum wage is very small in Turkey, and 80% of the workers are working for minimum wage. So there is a great poverty in Turkey, and it is increasing day by day.
Evet. Şimdi ucuz bir iş gücü Türkiye'de var. Bu anlamda hani işte bu örgütsüzlükle birlikte ucuz bir iş gücü. Şu anda Türkiye'de aslında yaşadığımız sorunların başında bir sendikalar faciası var. Maalesef Türkiye'de sendikalar artık işçi sınıfından örgütlenme mücadelesinden uzaklaşmış durumdalar. Daha fazla işverenlerle birlikte hareket ediyorlar. Biz de sendika olarak yani işverenlerin, patronların o işçi düşmanlığına ve sarı sendikacılığa karşı yıllardır bir anlamıyla tek başımıza mücadele veriyoruz. Bu anlamda da dediğim gibi Türkiye'de örgütlenme olabildiğince aşağı çekilmiş durumda. Türkiye'de 15-16 milyon kayıtlı işçi gözüküyor. Ancak bu 15-16 milyon işçinin %12'si civarında sendika üyesi ve bu %12'nin de karşılığı işte 2 milyon işçiye denk geliyor ama toplu iş sözleşmeli, sendikalı olarak çalışan işçi sayısı 1 milyonun altında. Ve bu 1 milyonun altındaki işçilerin de aldığı ücretler işte hani az önce söylediğimiz asgari ücretin ortalamasının birazcık üzerinde. Evet.
Yes, one of the most important problems of the workers in Turkey is the cheap labor force. The bosses are making use of the cheap labor force in Turkey, and at the same time, the organization of the unions is very weak in Turkey at the same time. And one of the most important problems is the reality of yellow unionism in Turkey. And we have been struggling against yellow unionism for years. And I would like to give you some statistics related to the workers in Turkey. For example, there are officially 16 million workers in Turkey. Officially, this number is an official number, and just 12% of these workers are affiliated to a union. Just 12%. So when we look at the collective agreement, the number of the workers who are benefiting from collective agreement is the number is less than 1 million workers. Out of 16 million workers, just 1 million, less than 1 million workers are benefiting from collective bargaining rights.
Evet, Türkiye'de bu koşullarda biz Nakliyat Sendikası olarak örgütlenme mücadelesi veriyoruz. Biraz önce de söylediğim gibi bizim Türkiye'de şu anda sadece işte para babalarına karşı yönelik bir mücadele değil, aynı zamanda sarı sendikacılığa karşı da bir mücadele vermek durumundayız. Sayımız çok az olmasına rağmen bu mücadeleyi veriyoruz. Şu anda Türkiye'de yürüttüğümüz, sendik olarak yürüttüğümüz direnişler var. Özellikle kendi iş kolumuzda olmayan iş yerleri de var. Ve o iş yerlerinde sendikaları, işçilerin üyesi olduğu sendikalar sahip çıkmadığı gibi bizim o işçilere sahip çıkmış olmamızdan dolayı da rahatsızlar ve bundan dolayı da bizim Türkiye'deki mücadelemizi engellemeye de çalışıyorlar. İşte Uzel Makina var Türkiye'de, traktör üreten bir firmadır. 15 yıldır bu ülke, bu işçiler haklarını arıyorlar. Gasp edilen kıdem tazminatlarını, yasal haklarını arıyorlar. Bizimle hiçbir bağı olmamasına rağmen biz bu işçilerin mücadelesini 5 yıldır sürdürüyoruz. Bir noktaya da getirdik. Ama dediğim gibi biz bu mücadeleyi verirken buna da bulunan, aslında işçilere sahip çıkması gereken, üyesi olduğu işçilere sahip çıkması gereken sendikalar bize karşı da cephe almış durumdalar. Bizim özellikle yeni örgütlendiğimiz iş yerlerinde bizim çoğunluğumuza itiraz ediyorlar. Ya da bizi bir şekilde bizim örgütlü olduğumuz iş yerlerine girerek oradaki örgütlülüğü dağıtmaya çalışıyorlar. Bir anlamda işverenlerle birlikte hareket ediyorlar.
So we are struggling under very hard circumstances in Turkey in terms of union struggle, I mean. And as I stated before, we not only struggle against the bosses or capitalist class, but also we also fight against yellow unionism in Turkey. For example, Nakliyat İş Union does not confine itself to only its own sector. For example, we carry out our works in transportation sector. Nakliyat İş is a union which is in transport sector, but in Turkey we behave as a confederation. We are not a confederation, just a union, but we also organize some workers from other sectors. One of the examples of this situation is Uzel Makina workers. We have a lot of resistances. We are going on a lot of resistances in Turkey. One of the most important resistances is Uzel Makina workers. Uzel factory is a factory which was producing tractors in the past, but its workers were fired. All of the workers were fired without being paid any compensation by their bosses, and they have been struggling for 15 years, and we are leading their struggle for 5 years. But the other yellow unions want to stop our organization and struggle in Uzel Makina factory. So, for example, the yellow unions are always trying to put a block on our way to organize and struggle.
Evet, Türkiye'de işçiler dediğimiz gibi ucuz iş gücü olarak çalıştırılıyor. Buna karşı örgütlenmelerini de yapıyor tabii. Yani sadece bizim örgütlenmelerimiz de değil. Türkiye'de sendikalaşma oldukça zor. Yasalar da buna engel oluyor. Şimdi yasalarda Türkiye'de sendikalaşma hakkı verilmiş durumda işçilere. Ama aynı oranda işverenlere de haklar verilmiş. İşte bir yetki aldığımız bir iş yerinde yetkimiz geliyor. yetkimiz geldikten sonra 6 iş günü içinde, yetki demeyelim de çoğunluk tespitimiz geliyor. Türkiye'deki yasalardan kaynaklı bize çoğunluk tespiti geliyor. İşverene itiraz etme hakkı tanınmış. Bu itiraz etme hakkıyla birlikte işveren itiraz ediyor. Yıllarca yetki gelmeyerek, yani o yetki geldiğinde içeride işçi kalmamış oluyor. Yani böylelikle aslında sendikalaşmanın da önünde bir engel var. Bundan dolayı da işverenler çok rahat hareket edebiliyorlar. İşte bizim 10 yılda bir iş yerinde yetkimiz geldi. 6 yılda yetkimiz geldi. İşte 10 yılda gelen iş yerinde yetkinin geldiği bir yerde dönüp baktığımızda bizim örgütlenme mücadelesini başlattığımız işçiler ya emekli olmuştur ya oradan ayrılmıştır. Yani bir biçimiyle oradaki örgütlülük yasalar nezdinde, yasalar eşliğinde bir anlamda yok edilmiş oluyor. İşte buna yönelik de bizim bir mücadelemiz var. Zaman zaman bu tarz itirazlarda işverenlerin önünde eylemler gerçekleştiriyoruz. İşte o itirazları geri alabilmek için. Evet.
So, one of the obstacles against the organization efforts of the unions in Turkey is the legal obstacle. At the same time, we are legally forced to stop our struggle by the state's policies, of course. I would like to give you an example. For example, legally, every union has a right to organize in every workplaces. This is legally possible, but when it comes to the practical situation, we see a totally different situation in Turkey. For example, the state also gives the right of putting an objection against the unionization. This right belongs to the bosses in Turkey, and they always object. For example, we organize the majority of the workers in a workplace, but the employer puts an objection legally, and we go to the court, and we have to wait for years in order to have a conclusion. And a striking example is that, for example, we have to wait for 10 years to solve the dispute. And after 10 years, when we look at the company, we have no union member. So the state is putting obstacles legally at the same time for our organization in workplaces.
Evet, grev kararları, grev, yani işçilerin greve gitmesi de yine yasal. Yani böyle bir grev hakkı var işçilerin, ama işverenler çok rahat, ya da hükümet çok rahat bir şekilde grevi yasaklayabiliyorlar. Adı yasak olmuyor ama işte ülkenin bir bütünlüğüyle ilgili ya da herhangi bir başka bir sebeple grevler de özellikle pandemi sürecinde de grevler yasaklandı. Daha öncesinde farklı sebeplerden dolayı da sürekli bir yasaklanma biçimiyle devam ediyor. Evet.
And for example, legally we have a right to go on strike legally, but in practical we cannot use this right because the state can easily ban the strikes. For example, in the last period, they made use of they used the pandemic as an excuse to ban the strikes in Turkey.
Şimdi tüm bunlar olduğu zaman işte bir de sarı sendikacılık üzerine geldiği zaman işçilerin de sendikalara olan güveni, örgütlenmeye olan güveni sarsılmış oluyor. Biraz daha uzaklaşmış oluyorlar. Örgütlenmekten çok ya da sendikalara güvenmekten çok işverene daha çok yaklaşmış oluyorlar. Durum bu.
So as a result of all these policies, the workers are influenced very negatively because of this situation. So they are getting closer and closer to the employer instead of getting closer and closer to the union. So they started not to do anything for the unions. For example, they don't want to do anything for the unions because they are fed up with all these procedures by the state.
Sonucunda da şu noktaya gelmiş oluyoruz. İşte işçiler o zaman daha böyle kölece çalışma sistemini kabul etmek durumunda kalıyorlar. İşte yasalarda 45 saat çalışma var ama işte fazla mesai almadan işte yeri geliyor 60 saat, 70 saat çalışıp evine işte az önce söylediğimiz asgari ücreti götürüyorlar. Tabii biz buna karşı mücadelemiz sürüyor.
For example, legally, the workers have to work for 45 hours in a week in Turkey. But when it comes to the practical situation, we see that they work 50 or 60 hours. These are all due to the policies implemented by the government in Turkey, as well as the tactics of yellow unionism in Turkey.
Evet, yeterlidir.
So that's okay for us. It's all for us about the situation of working class. If you have any question, we can answer. Brothers and sisters, can you hear us?
ইলিয়াস ভাই,
Yes,
কি মনে হয় mute করো?
that's all for us, comrades. So if you have any question, if you have any specific question about the policy.
Okay, comrade, we have several questions. Just let me translate in Bengali because maybe all of our viewer who is listening now or after will listen maybe don't know English. So
Okay.
I make it in Bengali substance. So please wait, we'll discuss.
Okay, we are waiting. Okay.
শ্রোতাদের উদ্দেশ্যে বলছি যে কথাগুলি আমরা আলোচনা করলাম এই মুহূর্তে ওই আমাদের যে কমরেড আসছেন তিনি যে বক্তব্যটা দিয়েছেন বক্তব্যের সারমর্মটা আমি তুলে ধরতেছি। উনি হলেন একজন আমাদের শিরোনামে দেখেছেন যে রেলওয়ে সড়ক বা অন্যান্য শ্রমিক ইউনিয়নের একজন নেতা। ওনার বক্তব্যে এটা আসছে যে আমাদেরকে ধন্যবাদ জানিয়ে ইউনিয়নের পক্ষ থেকে যে জিনিসটা নিশ্চিত করতে চাইতেছে সেটা হলো তারা সবসময় আন্তর্জাতিকবাদে বিশ্বাসী এবং শ্রমিকদের সারা বিশ্বের শ্রমিকদের সাথে ঐক্যবদ্ধ হিসেবে ভাবে কাজ করে শ্রমিক অধিকার আদায়ের জন্য লড়াই করতে তারা প্রতিশ্রুতিবদ্ধ। এরই কারণে আলী রাজা নামে তাদের যে ইউনিয়নের যে একজন সদস্য তিনি ডব্লিউএফটি ওয়ার্ল্ড ফেডারেশন অফ ট্রেড ইউনিয়নস এর সহসভাপতি। তুরস্কের শ্রমিক সম্পর্কে তিনি বললেন যে তুরস্কের শ্রমিকদের জীবনযাত্রা আসলে মোটামুটি একেবারে নিম্নমানের। কারণ হলো যে বিভিন্ন অজুহাতে তুরস্কের যে সরকার সে সরকার শ্রমিকদেরকে পুঁজিবাদের শোষণ করার সুযোগ করে দিয়েছে এবং সেটা শ্রমিকদের উপর ভারী হয়ে যাচ্ছে। যেমন ধরেন মহামারীর সময় শ্রমিকদের উপর বিভিন্ন রকম যে বেতন কিংবা পারিশ্রমিক সবকিছু মিলিয়ে একটা কঠিন পরিস্থিতির মধ্যে দাঁড় করিয়েছে এবং তুরস্কতে 80% শ্রমিক নিম্নতম বেতনে কাজ করে এবং 16 মিলিয়ন শ্রমিক কাজ করলেও মাত্র 12% শ্রমিক ইউনিয়নে এর মধ্যে কি বলে অংশগ্রহণ করে এবং এই ইউনিয়নগুলির মধ্যে হলুদ ইউনিয়ন অর্থাৎ যে সমস্ত ইউনিয়নগুলি মালিক এবং সরকারের সাথে যোগসাজশ করে শ্রমিকদের স্বার্থ লঙ্ঘন করে নিজেদের ভাগ্য উন্নয়ন করে তারা অত্যন্ত ধনী। এদিকে শ্রমিকরা তাদের অধিকার মালিকদের সাথে মিলিয়ে শ্রমিকদের অধিকার নিচের দিকে যাচ্ছে এবং তারা লড়াই করছে। কিন্তু আইন হলুদ ইউনিয়নগুলি বিভিন্ন সময়ে মালিক এবং সরকারের সাথে যোগসাজশ করে বৈধভাবে তাদের যে আন্দোলন সে আন্দোলনকে বাধাগ্রস্ত করার পরেও এই যে যাতায়াত ক্ষেত্রে এবং অন্যান্য ক্ষেত্রে প্রতিবাদ অব্যাহত রয়েছে। যেমন ধরুন ওজার ফ্যাক্টরি নামে একটা ফ্যাক্টরি আসলে সেখানে কোনো কিছু না দিয়ে তাদেরকে ছাঁটাই করা হয়েছিল, সেখানে আন্দোলন করে উঠেছিল। কিন্তু দেখা যায় যে হলুদ ইউনিয়নগুলি মালিকদের সাথে মিলে মামলা করে এবং মামলার ফলে 3, 4, 5 বছর সময় পার হয়ে যায় এবং শেষ মামলার শেষে দেখা যায় যে ইউনিয়নের কোনো অস্তিত্বটাই টিকে থাকাটা কষ্ট হয়ে দাঁড়ায়। তো বৈধভাবে এই সমস্ত কার্যক্রম করে মালিকদেরকে সুবিধা এবং বছরের বছর 10 বছরও পার হয়ে যায়, ইউনিয়নের এই সমস্যাগুলির কোনো সমাধান হয় না। তবে আমরা লড়াই করে যাচ্ছি। তারপরে যেমন ধরেন আইনগতভাবে সব অধিকার থাকলেও যে হরতালের অধিকারটাও আছে, সেখানে হরতাল করতে দেওয়া হয় না বিভিন্ন অজুহাতে। রাষ্ট্র যেমন এবার বিশ্বমারীর অজুহাতে শ্রমিকদের বিভিন্ন অধিকার নিয়ে যে হরতাল করা সেটা নিষেধ করে দিয়েছে। এমনি ভাবে তারা চেষ্টা করতেছে শ্রমিকদেরকে হতাশ করে দেওয়ার জন্য, যাতে আন্দোলন করে না ওঠে। এবং মূলত আইনগতভাবে 40-45 ঘন্টা সপ্তাহে কাজের সময় থাকলেও প্রকৃতপক্ষে 60 ঘন্টা কাজ করতে হয় বাধ্য হয়ে। এবং হলুদ ইউনিয়ন নেতারা তারা এটা পুরোপুরি সমর্থন করে। এই মোটামুটি হয়তো অনেক কিছু বাদ যেতে পারে, মোটামুটি ভাবে এটাই আমরা তার কাছে শুনলাম। এখন আমরা প্রশ্ন করব যাব। এই মুহূর্তে কেউ যদি শুনে থাকেন তাহলে আপনারা অবশ্যই যুক্ত হতে পারেন এবং প্রশ্নও করতে পারেন। মহিন ভাই, আপনি প্রশ্ন করেন, আমি তারপরে আমার প্রশ্নগুলি করব। ধন্যবাদ।
আপনি প্রশ্ন করেন, আমি শেষের দিকে
ওকে,
প্রশ্ন করব। আর আমি দর্শকদের যুক্ত হওয়ার জন্য আমি লিঙ্কটা দিয়ে দিলাম। কোনো দর্শক যদি যুক্ত হতে চান আমাদের পেজ থেকে যুক্ত হতে পারেন। আমি লিঙ্কটা এইমাত্র দিয়ে দিলাম, কারণ আমাদের প্রথম পর্বের আলোচনা মোটামুটি শেষ হয়েছে। এখন এখান থেকে প্রশ্ন করে নিলে আসবে। জি, ভাই।
Okay. Comrade, we are going to our second part to ask several questions about Turkey, political, religion, and cultural also. The first question is, what is the minimum wage of Turkish workers? And by this wage, salary, they can pass their life easily, or what is the difficulties?
Okay. Türkiye'deki asgari ücret ne kadar? Bu asgari ücretle işçiler istediği şeyleri alabiliyorlar mı? Yani hayatlarını yeterince sürdürebiliyorlar mı?
Şimdi Türkiye'de asgari ücret 4253 lira. Bunu şöyle daha net anlatmış olabiliriz. Ev kiraları şu anda Türkiye'de bulabilirseniz 3000 liraya falan buluyorsunuz. Yani 3'te 2 aldığı bir asgari ücretlinin aldığı ücretin 3'te 2'si, o da hani küçük bir ev için söylüyorum, 3'te 2'si ev kirası olarak gidiyor. Yani düşünebiliyor musunuz? Bir ülkede bir işçi aldığı ücretin 3'te 2'sini kiraya verecek. İşte doğalgaz, elektrik, su, gıda harcamaları, bunları hiç hesaba katamıyor dahi. İşte birçok şeyinden vazgeçerek yaşamaya çalışıyor. İşte ekmek Türkiye'de işte geçen bir hesap yapmıştık. 4253 liraya kaçtı? 1600 civarında ekmek alabiliyor. Sadece ekmek yerse sadece ekmek o kadar alabiliyor. Onun dışında çocuğu okula gidiyorsa okul masraflarını karşılama olasılığı yok. İşte hastaneye gidecekse hastaneleri karşılama olasılığı yok. Ya işte 4253 lira, yani Türk karşılığı 250 dolar ve ya da işte 260 dolar ya da euro karşılığı 250 euro oluyor ve bu birçok ülkede çok iyi biliyoruz. Yani Yunanistan'da bildiğim kadarıyla 600 euro, Almanya'da işte 1000 euronun üzerinde asgari ücret ve Türkiye'de %80 asgari ücretle çalışıyor işçilerin. %80 ortalama işçi ücreti olmuş durumda Türkiye'de. Dünyanın birçok ülkesinde %5, %10 civarında asgari ücret.
Yes, the minimum wage in Turkey is 4,253 Turkish liras, and the equivalence of dollar for this amount is $260. So the minimum wage in Turkey is about $260. And I would like to give you another example. For example, the house rents in Turkey is approximately 2,000 Turkish liras. Out of 4,253 Turkish liras, the workers have to pay 3,000 Turkish liras for house rental. So they have to pay two-thirds of their wage for just house rental in Turkey, and the situation is this. So they cannot afford to pay another expenses. For example, they cannot cover their expenses of school. They cannot send their children to schools. They cannot cover the expenses of medical services. They have to pay, but they cannot have any money for this. And another example is that with the minimum wage in Turkey, you can buy 1,600 slices of bread in Turkey. Just 1,600 slices of bread. So this is a striking example, I think. And as I stated in the first chapter, the percentage of the workers who get minimum wage is 80%. So when we look at the other European countries, we see that, as far as I know, in Greece, for example, the workers get 600 euros. And when we look at Germany, they get more than 1,000 euros. And when we compare all these minimum wage with Turkey, we can clearly see the difference between two countries. Yes.
Evet, Türkiye'de
Just a moment, please. I must translate in our language.
Yes.
প্রশ্নটা ছিল যে তুরস্কের শ্রমিকদের ন্যূনতম বেতন বা মজুরি কত, এবং সেই মজুরিতে তারা চলতে পারে কিনা, কিংবা তারা কোনো অসুবিধার সম্মুখীন হয় কিনা। তার উত্তরে এটি বলল যে তুরস্কের একজন ন্যূনতম বেতনের শ্রমিকের মজুরি বা বেতন হলো 4,200 লিরা। সে অনুসারে $260 আসে। তো এর ক্ষেত্রে তাদের যে বাসা ভাড়া দিতে হয়, বাসা ভাড়া 2,000 লিরা এবং অন্যান্য প্রাসঙ্গিক নিয়ে প্রায় 3,000 লিরার মতো চলে যায়। এর প্রেক্ষিতে দেখা যায় যে যেই টাকা অতিরিক্ত যে লিরা থাকে, সেই লিরা দিয়ে অন্যান্য ব্যয় পূরণ করা সম্ভব হচ্ছে না। শিশুদের বিদ্যালয়ে পাঠানো পারছে না, ওষুধপত্র কেনার জন্য অতিরিক্ত লিরা থাকতেছে না, বা অন্যান্য যে প্রয়োজনীয় সেটা প্রয়োজন অনুসারে করতে পারতেছে না। উদাহরণস্বরূপ যে বেতনটা পায় তারা, সেখান থেকে তুরস্কে 1,600 টুকরা রুটি কিনতে পারে। হ্যাঁ, তো এই রুটি কিনা বা এই যে টানাপোড়েন, সেটা শতকরা 80% শ্রমিক তুরস্কে কাজ করে। এই তুলনামূলকভাবে অন্যান্য দেশে, ইউরোপের অন্যান্য দেশে যেমন গ্রিসে 600 ইউরো ন্যূনতম বেতন আছে, জার্মানে 1,000 ইউরো ন্যূনতম বেতন আছে। সে প্রেক্ষিতে তুরস্কের শ্রমিকরা অপেক্ষাকৃতভাবে নিম্নমানে আছে। Please continue.
Türkiye'de hemen hemen her gün özellikle temel gıda ürünlerine zamlar geliyor. İşte yakıta zamlar geliyor, elektriğe zam geliyor, doğalgaza zam geliyor. Az önce söylediğim rakam ekmek alma, işte 4.253 alınacak ekmek sayısı da aslında yine birkaç gün işte ekmeklerin bazı yerlerde 4 liraya çıktığını da biliyoruz. Bu anlamda her geçen gün aldığımız asgari ücret bir gün önceki asgari ücretin de reel olarak alım gücü olarak değeri kaybolmuş durumda. Doğalında da bu şunu getiriyor. İşçiler ne kadar çok patrona bağlı hale gelirse, yani birikimi yok çünkü, işe ihtiyacı var, işsiz kalma korkusu var. Bundan dolayı da daha fazla patron için çalışıyor, daha fazla sömürülüyor, daha fazla o kölece koşulları kabul etmek durumunda kalıyor. Az önce de söyledim, bundan dolayı da daha fazla örgütsüzlüğe gidiyor.
Yes, I would like to inform you also that we see every day an increase of the prices of fundamental consumption materials. For example, gas or natural gas or electricities or water. They always increase the prices of these fundamental consumption materials. So every day when we wake up in the morning, we encounter another increase in the prices of fundamental consumption materials. Because of this reason, the workers are afraid of being fired, because if they are fired, they will lose their minimum wage. So it will be impossible for them to live to live on with unemployment. Because of this reason, unfortunately, they are as they are very afraid. They are afraid of unionizing, and they are getting closer to their employers day by day. Unfortunately.
Evet, Türkiye'de
let me হুম। ও বলতেছে যে এই তুরস্কের অবস্থাটা এরকম যে এই এর আগে যেটা বলছিল যে যুদ্ধের কারণে রাশিয়া ইউক্রেনের যুদ্ধের কারণেও বিভিন্ন সমস্যার সৃষ্টি করে শ্রমিকদের বেতনের ক্ষেত্রে, অন্যান্য ক্ষেত্রে। অন্যদিকে আবার বিদ্যুৎ, গ্যাস, ঊর্ধ্ব মূল্য হচ্ছে যে প্রতিদিন নিত্য প্রয়োজনীয় জিনিসপত্রের মূল্য বৃদ্ধি হচ্ছে। সেই সময় পাশাপাশি ছাঁটাই হচ্ছে। ছাঁটাই হওয়ার প্রেক্ষিতে ন্যূনতম যে বেতনটা সেটাও পাচ্ছে না। সুতরাং শ্রমিকরা ভয়-ভীতির মধ্যে ভয়-ভীতির মধ্যে জীবন কাটাচ্ছে, এবং আইনগত কিছু সমস্যা কারণে ইউনিয়নের সদস্যরা দিন পর দিন কমে যাচ্ছে। ওকে, কন্টিনিউ প্লিজ।
Evet, Türkiye'de şu anda açlık sınırı 6.170 lira Nisan ayına göre. İşte yoksulluk sınırı da 18.474 lira. Asgari ücret 4.253 lira. Açlık sınırı 18.400, açlık sınırı 6.170, yoksulluk sınırı 18.474 lira. Şimdi asgari ücret de 4.253 lira. Türkiye'de artık ortalama işçi ücreti olmuş durumda. %80'i asgari ücretle çalışıyor. Bu durumda çalışanların büyük bir bölümü açlık sınırı altında çalışıyor. Şimdi bu sadece çalışanlar için böyle, ama bir taraftan da emeklilerimiz var. Emekliler de ortalama en alt rakam işte 2.500 ama ortalama 3.000-3.500 lira civarında bir ücret alıyorlar. Bu anlamda hani çok ciddi bir durum söz konusu Türkiye'de. Evet.
Yes. I also want to share some other statistics and numbers in Turkey. For example, the hunger line in Turkey is 6,170 Turkish liras. I am repeating, the hunger line is 6,170 Turkish liras. And when we look at the poverty line, we see a greater number. It is more than 18,000 Turkish liras. And I would like to remind you the amount of minimum wage again. The minimum wage in Turkey, the current minimum wage in Turkey is 4,253 Turkish liras. So when we look at the situation, we can easily see that the majority of the people in Turkey are living behind the hunger line and poverty line in Turkey. And another tragedy is about the situation of pensioners in Turkey. For example, the minimum wage for pensioners is 2,500 Turkish liras. 2,500 Turkish liras. So the pensioners must live on with this poverty wage. We say we call it poverty wage, and also they have a very bad situation in Turkey.
Okay, you mean the statistics said they need was 6,130 to 6,170 lira for a person.
Sorry, can you repeat that, please?
Can you repeat your statistics report?
Yes, I'm talking about the hunger line in Turkey. Hunger
Okay,
line.
okay. Okay, I
You know?
got it. I got it. Okay.
Yes,
Let me translate it, please. সংক্ষিপ্তভাবে যেটুকু বলতে বুঝেছি যে তুরস্কে একটা জরিপ হয়েছে, যে জরিপে দেখা যাচ্ছে যে একজন মানুষের জন্য 6,130 থেকে 6,170 লিরা প্রয়োজন দৈনন্দিন জীবনের জন্য। সেখানে একজন শ্রমিকের ন্যূনতম বেতন হলো 4,200। অর্থাৎ তার মানে হলো যে এই যে মানবত দারিদ্র সীমার নিচে অথবা প্রয়োজনীয়তার নিচের থেকে সীমারেখার নিচে থেকে জীবনযাপন করছে। অন্যদিকে যারা অবসর ভাতা অর্থাৎ পেনশনার যারা আছে তারা মাত্র 2,500 লিরা অবসর ভাতা নিচ্ছে, যে ভাতা দিয়ে তাদের জীবনের চলাটা খুবই দুর্বিষহ এবং খুবই মানবত জীবনযাপন করছে। Okay, you have finished this question, or if you have add something?
Yani şunu da söyleyelim, yani Türkiye'de şu anda enflasyon oranı resmi rakamlara göre yıllık %70. Burada uzun bir dönem aslında hep düşük tutuldu ama daha sonra hani bir anlamda mızrak çuvala sığmadı. Bağımsız enflasyon araştırma grubuna göre ise %170 civarında enflasyon oranı var. Yani bunu da söylemiş olalım.
Yes, as a last data, I would like to share with you the annual inflation rate in Turkey. This is the officially declared inflation rate in Turkey, and the government declares it. It is 70%. The annual inflation rate in Turkey is at the moment 70%, not 17, but 70%. However, according to the independent researchers, the real inflation rate is 170%, more than 100%. So they are always, the government is always trying to hide the truth truth about the real inflation rates in Turkey. That's all for this question.
ও বলতেছে আরেকটা বিষয় যেটা মূল্যস্ফীতি, ইনফ্লেশন তো মূল্যস্ফীতি মনে হয় বুঝি। তো এটার পরিমাণ হলো 70%, অর্থাৎ এই খনিজ সম্পদের ব্যাপারে বললে 170%। এইটার দ্বারা এই সরকার সবসময় একটা কাজ করে, সেটা হলো এই যে সত্য তথ্যগুলি সেটা সবসময় গোপন করার চেষ্টা করে। ওকে, we can go another question.
Yes.
Okay. Another question is, you told us the million, just a moment. How many million workers is working in Turkish?
Officially,
Yes.
16 million workers.
Okay, 16 million. How many percent women is working all of this sector? And what is the situation in workplace?
Okay.
About-
Bu 16 milyon kayıtlı çalışanın içerisindeki kadın çalışan oranı nedir ve kadınların çalışma şartlarıyla ilgili neler söyleyemez?
Yani Türkiye'de yani yarıya yakın kadın işçi var ama Türkiye'de kadın işçiler tabii daha zorlu koşullarda çalışıyor. Özellikle hem evde çalışıyorlar hem iş yerinde çalışmış oluyorlar. Yani maalesef ülkemizde daha bu şeyi aşmış durumda değiliz. Kadın işçiler daha fazla sömürülüyor, daha fazla eziliyor. Ama kadın işçiler Türkiye'de örgütlenme içerisine girdiğinde mücadele daha kararlı oluyor. Daha zafere yakın bir süreç yaşıyoruz kadın işçilerin mücadeleye girdiğinde. Çalışma koşulları birçok anlamda mesela şu sorulabiliyor. Yani işe alınırken bir kadın işçi çocuğun var mı? Evli misin? Çocuğun var mı? Çocuk yapmayı düşünüyor musun? Gibi sorular sorulabiliyor. Ve bu soruların karşılığında da işe alınıp alınmamasına karar verilebiliyor. Yani bu da gerçekten bu çağda yaşanılabilecek utançlardan biridir. Dediğim gibi kadınların çalışma koşulları bazen daha düşük ücretler alabiliyorlar kadınlar erkeklere oranla. Yani kadın işçinin iş gücü biraz daha ucuz Türkiye'de. Ama bazı sektörlerde daha çok kadın işçi çalışır. İşte tekstilde kadın işçiler daha fazladır. Ya da hizmet sektöründe kadın işçileri daha fazla görebiliriz.
So we can say that out of these 16 million workers, 8 million workers are women. So it is half of the total number. And when we look at the circumstances under which they work, we can easily see that they are working under more difficult conditions in Turkey. So they have to work both at home and in their workplaces. So they are exploited more than male workers. And when we look at our experiences, when we organize the majority of the women in a workplace, we get a better result as a result of this struggle because they are struggling more militantly than the male workers, as far as we can see. And I would like to give you another example related to the female workers in Turkey. For example, when they go to the conversation to start a job, the employers ask them, are you married or not? Do you have a child? Do you have children or not? Or are you thinking of giving a birth or not? So just like in the Middle Ages, they are faced with these kinds of questions in workplaces. So they at the same time they get not much wages when we compare them with the male workers.
Okay, thank you. I'm trying to translate it. প্রশ্নটা ছিল যে কত শতাংশ নারী কাজ করে সমস্ত পেশাগুলিতে এবং তাদের জীবনযাত্রা বা কি কি সমস্যার সম্মুখীন হতে হয় কিনা। তো বলতেছে 16 মিলিয়ন শ্রমিকদের মধ্যে প্রায় 8 মিলিয়ন বা 8 মিলিয়ন নারী শ্রমিক কাজ করে। তাদের বেশিরভাগ ক্ষেত্রে পুরুষদের চাইতে একটু বেশি শোষণের মোকাবেলা করতে হয়। উদাহরণস্বরূপ বলা যেতে পারে যেমন তারা যখন কাজ করতে যায় তখন মালিকরা তাদেরকে জিজ্ঞেস করে বিবাহিত কিনা, অবিবাহিত কিনা, ভবিষ্যতে সন্তান নিতে চায় কিনা কাজের করার পরে। এই সমস্ত এই বিষয়গুলি আসে এই কারণে যে এর সাথে অধিকার জড়িত আছে, এটা পরে উনি হয়তো বলবে। তবে মজুরি বেশি পাচ্ছে না, এই যে এইটা নারী এবং পুরুষে একই সঙ্গে কাজ করতে হয়। তবে এই ক্ষেত্রে নারীরা যে লড়াই সংগঠিত করে সেখানে পুরুষদের চাইতে অপেক্ষাকৃতভাবে বেশি ফলদায়ক, কারণ নারীরা খুব বেশি সংগ্রামী ভূমিকায় যে কোনো অধিকার আদায়ের আন্দোলনে সংগঠিত করে। প্লিজ কন্টিনিউ।
Başka var mı kadınla ilgili?
Yani kadınlarla ilgili Türkiye'de ve belki de birçok ülkede de bu vardır. Eğer bir iş yerinde bir daralma olacaksa ya da iş yerinin işte dediğim gibi sayısal anlamda bir düşüş olacaksa ilk önce kadın işçiler Türkiye'de de işten atılır. Ya da part-time çalışan işçilerle arasında çok fazla kadın işçi bulunur. Çünkü geçici olarak görülür kadın çalışması. Türkiye'de de bu da bu şekilde devam ediyor.
At the same time, for example, when a company goes at downsizing, when they want to reduce the number of the workers in the workplace, it is the women who are fired in the first hand. So at the same time, when we look at workers who are working in part-time jobs, we see a lot of women in Turkey. Because of this reason, they are working under really very hard circumstances in Turkey, and these are all for the issue of male workers in Turkey. Thank you.
আরেকটা বিষয় সংযুক্ত করলো, সেটা হলো নারীদের ব্যাপারে, যে যদি মালিকরা কখনো ছাঁটাই করতে চায় তাহলে প্রথমে নারীদেরকে ছাঁটাই করে, ফলে তারা কঠিন পরিস্থিতিতে পড়ে স্বল্প সময় অর্থাৎ পার্ট টাইমে যে কাজগুলো আছে সেই কাজগুলো করতে বাধ্য হয়, এবং এই তাদের এই ছাঁটাইয়ের প্রেক্ষিতে তাদের জীবন কঠিন পরিস্থিতির মধ্যে দিয়ে চলতে হয়। Will I say there is any sexual harassment or discrimination inside the workplace or by government about the women?
Kadına yönelik taciz veya tecavüz olayları iş yerlerinde, yani patronlar tarafından ya da devlet tarafından yapılıyor. Böyle bir durum var mı?
Yani çok fazla, aslında çok fazla yaşanılan bir durum. Türkiye'de kadına yönelik taciz, iş çalışırken özellikle çok fazla taciz. Ama maalesef Türkiye'de kadına yönelik şiddete verilen cezalar ya da kadına yönelik tacizlerle ilgili cezalar çok komik durumlara gelmiş durumda. Yani çok bu konuyu özellikle erkek ödüllendiriliyor bazen, hani yaptığına karşılık ceza verilmeyerek ödüllendiriliyor. Türkiye'de çok fazla kullanılır. İşte kravatı takar, gider işte tecavüz etmiştir bir kadına ya da şiddete maruz bırakmıştır, kadını katletmiştir. Sonrasında işte hakimin karşısına kravatla çıkar ve ceza indirimine gidilir. Bu konuda Türkiye'de çok fazla kadına şiddet ya da kadına taciz olayı duyuyoruz, biliyoruz. Bir de maalesef tabii Türkiye gibi ülkelerde namus kavramı biraz daha fazladır. Bundan dolayı da çok fazla dillendirilmez. Yaşadığı halde çok fazla dillendiremeyen kadınlar da olduğunu biliyoruz. Buna yönelik mücadeleden başka şansımız yok. Bunun için hani insanlığın yarısı kadından oluşmakta ve dünyayı da kadınlarla birlikte paylaşıyoruz. Bunun için bizim gibi mücadele edenlerin kadına yönelik o ayrımcı yanına karşı da mücadele etmemiz gerekiyor. Kadınların üretimde daha fazla olması gerekiyor ve mücadeleye daha fazla katılmış olması gerekiyor ki bu tacizdir, şiddettir, bunların önüne geçelim ve bunlarla ilgili yasalar çıkarttıralım. Bu da mücadeleden geçiyor.
Yes, sexual harassment against a woman is a big problem in Turkey. It is done by both the employers and at the same time the policies of the current government paves the way for sexual harassment and violence against a woman. For example, not just sexual harassment, but we can also see a lot of examples of incidents of violence against a woman. and the punishment, the legal punishment, is very poor for the violence against or sexual harassment against the woman. So as the men are not persecuted or are not punished very much, they always continue to do the same thing. So it is supported by the government policies in Turkey. This is a very big problem in Turkey. For example, if they Comrade Mehrali gives an example which is very actual in Turkey. For example, when a person commits a sexual harassment against a woman, if he goes to the court and if he is wearing a tie, the court gives less punishment because of good behavior. You have some good behavior, you look very good, so I give you less punishment. This is the case in Turkey, and we always underline that the woman issue is very important for us. The half of the humanity is women, we always say. So we should struggle for the rights of both worker women, and both the women at home.
Okay.
Bu konuda şunu söyleyebiliriz.
Please,
Kadınlar
please give me a moment to translate. বলতেছে নারীরা যে কাজ করে কাজের ক্ষেত্রে মালিক দ্বারা হয়রানির বা কি বলে ওটাকে যৌন হয়রানি কিংবা সহিংসতার শিকার হয়, বিশেষ করে সহিংসতার শিকার বেশি হয়। এটা হয় কারণ হলো বর্তমান সরকার নারীদের বিষয় যে রাজনীতিটা, যে পন্থাটা, যে নিয়ম নীতিটা অনুসরণ করে, সেক্ষেত্রে দেখা যায় যে আদালতে গেলে এই নারীর হয়রানি বা যৌন হয়রানি বা যে কোনো সহিংসতার ব্যাপারে সাজার পরিমাণ খুবই কম, এবং কোর্টে এরকম ঘটনাও ঘটে যে কোনো ব্যক্তি যদি একটু সুদর্শন হয়, ভালো ব্যবহারের হয়, তাহলে তাকে একটু কম সাজা দেওয়া হবে। এই ধরনের রাজনীতির কারণে, সরকারের এই ধরনের রাজনীতির কারণে নারীদের প্রতি সহিংসতাটা এবং যৌন হয়রানিটা রয়ে গেছে, যেটা আমাদের সেই ইউনিয়নের জন্য গুরুত্বপূর্ণ। নারীদের এই বিষয়গুলি নিয়ে, কারণ অর্ধেক শ্রমিক নারী, এবং তাদের অধিকারের জন্য আমাদের লড়াই করা অব্যাহত রাখা, এটি আমাদের দায়িত্ব। প্লিজ।
Evet, yani bu konuyla ilgili şunu söyleyebiliriz. Kadının kurtuluşu, işçi sınıfının kurtuluşundan bağımsız değildir. Birlikte mücadeleyle hem işçi sınıfı hem kadın daha özgürce yaşayacaktır. Haklarını alacaktır diye söyleyebiliriz.
We have a motto, we have a slogan about the women issue in Turkey. We always say that the liberation of women is not independent from the liberation of working class. We always shout this slogan in our actions, demonstration, etc. And with the joint struggle of both male and female workers, we can overcome all these problems, and we should continue this struggle.
ওকে, ওদের ইউনিয়নের একটা মিছিলের একটা স্লোগানই আছে, যেখানে যার পুরো বাংলা করলে এরকমই হয় যে নারী স্বয়ংসম্পূর্ণ হওয়া ছাড়া কোনো জাতি স্বয়ংসম্পূর্ণ না। সুতরাং নারী পুরুষ মিলে যে সে সমস্ত অধিকারের জন্য লড়াই করতে হবে, শ্রমিক শ্রেণীর শ্রেণী সংগ্রামের যে অধিকার, সেই অধিকারগুলি আদায় করতে হবে। ওটার উপর এটি। ওকে, we can go another question, or you want add something about women rights and everything?
No, comrade. Okay, we can go on go for another question.
As we read in newspaper and we hear international media that Turkish is an Islamic country. On the other hand, there is increasing atheist people, non-religious people, and at the same time, international Islamic leader is Tayyip Erdogan. What's your view all of this?
Okay. Gazetelerde, uluslararası basında ve sosyal medyada takip ettiğimiz kadarıyla Türkiye İslamcı bir ülke. Yani İslam kültürlü bir ülke. Fakat ateistlerin oranının arttığını görüyoruz. Aynı zamanda işte Tayyip Erdoğan da İslam dünyasının lideri gibi lanse ediliyor. Bu konuda neler
Evet.
söylemek istersiniz?
Şimdi Türkiye'de tabii dışarıdan baktığınızda her şey farklı gözükür. Dışarıdan Almanya'da da farklı gözükür. İslam ülkelerinde de farklı gözükür. Hatta Almanya'da tanıdığım kişiler vardı. Bir dönem Türkiye'deki ekonominin çok iyi gittiği yönünde şeyler söylenirdi. İşte İslam ülkeleri de Türkiye'de bir İslam yet oldu. İslami değerlerle yönetilen bir ülke olduğu gibi lanse edilir. Bu tabii tamamen işte emperyalizmin bize göstermek istediği bir durumdur. Türkiye'de ateistler niye artıyor? Yani bir taraftan İslam'la yönetilen bir ülke ise, İslami değerlere göre yönetilen bir ülke varsa ateistlerin artmaması gerekir. Tam tersi, çünkü o ülkede daha farklı şeyler konuşuluyor olması gerekir. Yani Türkiye'de gerçekten İslamiyet gibi yaşanmadığı için aslında. Şimdi bir şey vardır. Komşunu açken sen tok yatamazsın. Ama öbür tarafta sarayda yaşayan birileri var ya da Türkiye'deki ihalelerden her gün farklı işte ihaleler alarak hiçbir şey yapmadan kazanan insanlar var. Çok lüks hayat yaşayanlar var. Doğalında bunu gören gerçekten dini bütün insanlar var. İslamiyet'e inanmış insanlar var. Doğalında nereye götürüyor? O, yani benim anladığım İslam'la onların yaşadığı İslam farklıymış noktasına çekiyor. Özellikle gençler artık Türkiye'de de bu bir dönem yine tartışıldı. Deizme doğru bir gidiş var. Bu da şunu gösteriyor. Türkiye'de gerçekten bir İslami değerlere sahip insanlar Türkiye'yi yönetmiyor. Türkiye'de şu anda bunu tabii dışarıdan bakıldığı gibi işte sosyal medya ne verirlerse o, sonuçta basın emperyalistlerin elindedir. Size ne verirlerse onu görüyorsunuz. Siz özel olarak bunun için bir çaba sarf ettiğinizde gerçekleri de görmeniz daha kolay oluyor. Şu an için Türkiye'de İslami değerlere göre bir Türkiye yönetilmiyor. Onu net söyleyebiliriz. Çünkü yaşam tarzlarıyla, dine bakış açılarıyla işte bakıyoruz, işte biraz önce söyledik, özel makine işçileri 15 yıldır haklarını alamıyor. Hazreti Muhammed ne demişti? İşçinin alın teri kurumadan hakları verilsin demişti. Bu hangi iktidar döneminde oldu? İşte bugün AKP iktidarı döneminde Türkiye'de insanlar haklarını alamıyor 15 yıldır. Hangi İslami değerlere sığar bu? Ya da yine neotrend tekstil işçileri var, işte 2 yıldır. Onlar da Nakliyat Sendikası öncülüğünde, bizim öncülüğümüzde devam ediyor. Onlar da işte 1 yıldır pandemi süreciyle birlikte hakları gasp edildi. Patronu kaçtı gitti. Bir yerlerde farklı işler yürütüyor. Hangi değerlere sığacak? Hangi İslami değerlerde var? İşte işlerin haklarının alamaması. Alamıyor yani, işlerin haklarını alamıyor. Şimdi bunlar varken tabii ki farklı şeyleri insanlara empoze etmeye çalışıyorlar. Dünyaya farklı. Türkiye İslami lider değil. Yani Türkiye'de hani öyle bir şey yaratmaya çalışıyorlar ama öyle bir durum yok. Türkiye'de yaşayan insanlar olarak bizim söyleyeceğimiz bu.
Yes. When you look at Turkey from outside, you can see a different picture. For example, I would like to give you an example. I have some relatives in Germany. When they look at Turkey from outside, they say that, oh yes, the economy is very good in Turkey. So this is not the reality. It also works for Islamic situation in Turkey. As you say, when you look at Turkey from outside, you can see an Islamic country. But you are right, the number of atheist people, and at the same time, as well as the deism is increasing day by day, because the ruling party of Turkey, AKP, has nothing to do with the positive values of Islam. For example, the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, says, pay your workers as soon as possible. And when we look at the situation in Turkey, we can see a reverse picture. So they do not respect the real values of Islam in Turkey. They are just making use of Islam to implement their reactionary policies. And for example, as I stated in the first chapter, the situation in Uzel Makina workers were fired, and they weren't paid compensations. So it is okay for Islamic values? No, but these are all happening under the ruling of AKP in Turkey. And at the same time, for example, we also organize neo-trend textile workers in Turkey, and their bosses, their employers didn't give their compensations. They closed the factory and ran away. So this is also happening under the government of AKP in Turkey. If they really respect the positive values of Islam, they cannot let it happen like this. So, as a result, we can see that the government of Turkey is just using the name of Islam, to implement their reactionary policies.
ওকে, লেট মি ট্রান্সলেট ইট প্লিজ। আমার প্রশ্নটা ছিল যে তুরস্কে এর যে প্রেসিডেন্ট আছে রাগিব এরদোগান বা তাইয়িপ এরদোগান যাই বলেন, ওনাকে আন্তর্জাতিকভাবে ইসলামের নেতা বলা হয়। তুরস্ক কি একটা ইসলামিক দেশ? বা অন্যদিকে দেখা যায় যে নাস্তিকবাদ বৃদ্ধি পাচ্ছে। তো সব মিলিয়ে তার মতামতটা কি? সে হেসে বলল যে আমরা যারা বাইরে থেকে তুরস্ককে দেখি, তাদের দেখার যে ভাবটা বা দেখার যে প্রক্রিয়াটা, সেটা ভিন্ন ছবি আমরা দেখি। যেমন ধরেন অর্থনীতির ক্ষেত্রে অনেকেই বলে তুরস্কের অর্থনীতি খুব ভালো। আসলে মূলত তুরস্কের অর্থনীতি একদমই ভালো না। তো তুরস্ক একটা ইসলামিক দেশ, সেটা সঠিক, ঠিক আছে। তবে নাস্তিকবাদ দিন দিন বৃদ্ধি পাচ্ছে। আর মূলত তুরস্কে ইসলামিক যে মৌলিক মূল্যবোধ, সেটার কোথাও কোনো কিছু নেই। শুধুমাত্র ইসলামটাকে তারা ব্যবহার করতেছে, ব্যবহার করে যাতে তাদের যে স্বার্থ, সেই স্বার্থ রক্ষা করার জন্য ব্যবহার করতেছে, এবং কোথাও মৌলিক ইসলামিক মূল্যবোধটা কাজ করতেছে না। আর একটা ব্যাপার হলো যে সমস্ত জায়গাতে আন্দোলন আমরা করতেছি, যেমন উজার মার্কিনের যে ফ্যাক্টরি আছে, সেখানে মালিকরা তো মুসলমান হিসেবে তাদের যে ক্ষতিপূরণ সেটা দিতে চাইছিল না। আমরা আন্দোলন করে সেটা নিয়েছি। সেটা কি ধর্মীয় কারণ হয়েছে? না, সেটা আন্দোলনের কারণ হয়েছে। সুতরাং এই সমস্ত ধর্মীয় ব্যাপার-স্যাপারগুলি মূলত তারা তাদের স্বার্থেই ব্যবহার করে। Please continue.
Biz yaşadığımızı biliyoruz. Ülkemizde neler yaşadığını biliyoruz. Ondan dolayı dışarıda ne dediğinden öte biz burada yaşananları görüyoruz. Bizim gözümüzle bakmaları gerektiğini düşünüyoruz dünyanın. Söyleyecek başka da bir şey yok şu an için bu konuyla ilgili.
So I would like to also point out the fact that Tayyip Erdogan, he is living in a palace, just like the sultans of the Ottoman empires, just like in the Middle Ages. And Islam says that there shouldn't be any discrimination among people. The real Islam, we regard the real Islam with this principle. So when we look at the situation, on one hand, the president of Turkey is living under very good conditions in palaces, and when you look at the other other mass peoples, popular strata in Turkey, they are living under very, very bad situation, and this is a paradox in Turkey. However, we live in Turkey. We know the situation very well in Turkey, and in order to understand Turkey, everybody should use the right sources. For example, if they follow the mainstream media, they understand nothing about Turkey.
ওকে, এটা বলতে গেলে যে ইসলামের যে মৌলিক নীতি যেটা আছে সেই নীতি থেকে তুরস্কের কোনো কিছুর সাথে মিল নাই। যেমন উদাহরণস্বরূপ বলা যেতে পারে তাকে ধরেন দেশের রাষ্ট্রপতি, কিন্তু সে অটোমান সম্রাটের মতো করে প্যালেসে বাস করে, সে বিশাল একটা জায়গাতে বাস করে, এবং দেশের জনগণ প্রতিদিন তাদের জীবনযাত্রার মান কষ্টকর এবং নিম্নমানের হচ্ছে, এবং সেটা একটা প্যারাডক্সের মতো কাজ করতেছে এই রাষ্ট্রপতি এবং গরিবদের মাঝে। এবং এই যে সমস্ত বিষয়গুলো আমরা তুরস্কের মধ্যে দেখি, সেটা হলো এই সামাজিক কি বলে ওই যে প্রচার মাধ্যমের যে ফল, সেই প্রচার মাধ্যমের ফল থেকে যে ভ্রান্ত হয় সেগুলি আমাদের আছে। ওকে, উইল গো to now to Mu'min. Maybe he will ask some question, and we'll take any some question with our viewer from our viewers. Mu'min, you can ask question, please.
কোশ্চেন কার কাছে করব?
Sorry, can you hear us?
Yeah.
No, he will ask now. His question.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I have not enough question because already everything is discussed. So we want to go in the end. The last moment I want to ask the question like that. We know Turkey is an Islamic country, and this country will go on progress not only industrialization, it's progress on human mentality, religious view, the political view, everything. So can you talk, or can you talk me how many time you need to proper progress?
Do you understand, or we can repeat it again?
We couldn't hear comrades. His voice is very low.
Oh, okay. Moment, please repeat your question clearly and high volume.
Okay. Friend, comrade, are you hear me and clear? Comrade, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you
Yes.
now.
Oh, okay. Comrade, I want to know. We know already Turkey is a developing country, but it's Islamic country, and the people's mentality now is on progress. But we do not know how many time you need to the proper progress, and can you talk about how many time you need?
If I understand, his question is like this, that we are hearing Turkey is a developed country, and about the religion views, peoples are going to progressive side. How long it will be fulfilled?
Okay, I see. Türkiye gelişmekte olan bir ülke, aynı zamanda İslami bir ülke. Fakat Türkiye'deki insanların ilerici saflara geçmesi için ne kadar süre geçmesi gerekir? Bu konuda ne düşünüyorsunuz?
Şimdi Türkiye gerçekten gelişmekte olan bir ülke mi? Bu biraz daha böyle emperyalizmin geri kalmış ülkelere ya da işte bu tarz ülkelere bu sözü söylerler. Gelişmekte olan bir ülke derler. Oysa Türkiye'de şu anda aslında daha önceki yıllara oranla görüntü olarak evet birçok şeye ulaşıyoruz. Ama üretim adına Türkiye'de çok şey elimizde alınmış durumda. Üretim üretmiyoruz Türkiye'de. Ve Türkiye bir geçiş ülkesi konumuna geldi. Daha çok hizmet sektörü ülke durumuna geldi. Gelişmek demek üretmek demektir. Şu anda Türkiye'de üretim yok denecek kadar azdır. İşte Türkiye tarımda, hayvancılıkta, birçok alanda dışa bağımlılığı söz konusudur. Özellikle Ukrayna-Rusya savaşında da bu daha net gözüktü. İşte oradaki bir savaş Türkiye'deki yağ fiyatlarını uçurdu. İşte ayçiçek yağı fiyatlarını uçurdu. Bu anlamda gelişmekte olan bir ülke kavramı belki daha önceki dönemlerde işte üretimler olduğu zaman belki karşılıyordu diyebiliriz ama şu anda böyle bir durumda çok fazla konuşacak durumda değiliz aslında. Dediğim gibi fabrikalar kapatıldı. Kağıt fabrikası, SEKA vardı, kapatıldı. İşte şeker fabrikaları var, kapatıldı, özelleştirildi. İşte çimento fabrikaları, birçok fabrika. Yani Türkiye bir anlamıyla son 20 yıl içerisinde inşaat alanında gelişen bir ülke oldu. Her yer betonla dolduruldu. Onun dışında da yani üretim yok denecek kadar aza inmiş durumda. Devamlı
İnsanların
ben söyleyeyim insanlara yani.
First of all, let's begin with your definition. You say that Turkey is a developing country, and I don't agree with this definition because there is no production in Turkey for 20 years, we can say. In the past, we produced a lot of materials and we export these materials to the foreign countries, but now we import everything from outside, from the foreign countries in Turkey. Because of this reason, we cannot define Turkey as a developing country. And for example, we are not dependent. We are not a independent country. Let me give you an example. After the wage of the war between Russia and Ukraine, the olive oil prices increased drastically. So we cannot produce olive oil. Even olive oil we cannot produce. And also, I would like to underline that a lot of public factories were sold to the foreigners in Turkey. For example, the factory of Pace, the factory of for example, SEKA was sold. It was a very big and important factory, and sugar factories were sold, for example. And this is the first part of my answer. So I would like to underline that Turkey is not anymore a developing country. And I will go on with the second part of your question.
Okay, you want to say second part now, or we will translate and then you tell?
After your translation, comrade.
ওকে থ্যাংক ইউ ও বলতেছে যে আমার একটা দ্বিমত আছে, আমি দ্বিমত করব যে তুরস্ক একটা উন্নত দেশ। আসলে মোটো এটা উন্নত দেশ না। এই দেশে দুর্নীতি ভরা, সেখানে যেখানে আমরা একসময় রপ্তানি করতাম সেই রপ্তানি এখন বন্ধ হয়ে গেছে, বন্ধ হয়ে এখন আমরা প্রায় সবকিছু আমাদের আমদানি করতে হয়। এবং এটা একটা স্বাধীন দেশ না, কোনো কিছুতেই স্বাধীন না, স্বাধীন দেশ না। যেমন ইউক্রেন এবং রাশিয়ার যুদ্ধের ক্ষেত্রে যে অলিভ অয়েল যেটা করা হতো সেটা একেবারে বাজে অবস্থায়, বা এটা রপ্তানি বা হচ্ছে না, বা তারপর সরকার কি বলে কারখানা, সরকারি যে কারখানাগুলি ছিল সেগুলি বিক্রি করে দিচ্ছে, বিক্রি করে, যেমন শেখা একটা ছিল, বড় কারখানা ছিল, সেটা বিক্রি করে দিচ্ছে, এবং চিনি কারখানা যেটা ছিল সেটা বিক্রি করে দিচ্ছে। সব মিলিয়ে যে আমদানি রপ্তানি অর্থনীতি বা সরকারি সম্পত্তি বিক্রি, এসব মিলিয়ে তুর্কি খুব জোর গলায় আমি বলতে চাই যে তুরস্ক একটা উন্নত রাষ্ট্র নয়। আর দ্বিতীয় প্রশ্নের দ্বিতীয় অংশটা আমি উত্তর দিচ্ছি। প্লিজ কন্টিনিউ।
Evet, Türkiye'de evet, Türkiye bir İslam ülkesi ama bu ülke aynı zamanda laik bir ülkeydi. Yani az da olsa laikliği yaşayan bir ülkeydi. Tam anlamıyla yaşamamış olsak da laiklik. Yani Türkiye'de bazı şeylerin değişebilmesi, daha aydın düşünebilmenin yolu da laiklik. Laikliğe daha fazla sarılmamız gerekiyor. Yani o dinle devlet işlerinin birbirinden ayırt etmek gerekiyor. İnsanların yaşam tarzına karışılmadan bir hayat sürdürdüğümüz oranda daha nasıl diyelim, daha gelişebilir, ülke de gelişebilir. İşte şeyin önü açılır, örgütlenmelerin önü açılır. Şu anda biz bir yerde örgütlenme yapmaya gittiğimizde burada insanlar dini düşüncelerine göre de hareket edebiliyorlar. Etnik yapılarına göre de hareket edebiliyorlar. Doğalında ne oldu? Kutuplaşmayla birlikte. Yani bu son 20 yıl içerisinde aşırı bir biçimde kutuplaşmış durumdayız. Yani her şeyin altında farklı şeyler arıyoruz. Bu da bizim yaşam kalitemizi de düşürüyor. Yani daha fazla laikliği anlamamız gerekiyor bizim bir yerlere gidebilmemiz için. Biz laiklikten uzaklaştıkça nasıl diyelim, birçok şeyden kopmuş durumdayız. Olayları da algılayamıyoruz. Daha çok dinsel yönüyle bakar hale geldik. Yani din dediğimiz şey insanın kendi içinde yaşayacağı, kimsenin diline, yaşam tarzına, ibadetine karışmayacağı bir şey olması gerekiyor. Yani ben ne düşünüyorum, sen ne düşünüyorsundan uzak bir hayat sürdürdüğümüz ölçüde gelişiriz. Daha medeni oluruz. Yani daha üretken oluruz diyebilirim. Evet.
Yes, comrade. One of the most important problems in Turkey is the laicism or secularism problem. As you know, Turkey is officially a secular country, and but with the AKP government, with the ruling party of Turkey, the secularism has been destroyed in the last 20 years in Turkey. So we also struggle for the promotion of secularism in Turkey. This country was founded by Mustafa Kemal on a secular basis. However, the ruling party of Turkey, AKP, is forcing people to live in a society which is founded on the basis of Islamic rules. So we also struggle against this fact, and we have some, for example, problems with the organization of workers. For example, when we go to a workplace to organize the workers, they are looking at they would like to know our religion, our sect, our point of view, and there is a great discrimination in Turkey, which was created by the ruling party AKP, and there is a great polarization in Turkey in the last 20 years. So we think that the more we get away from laicism or secularism, the more we get away from scientific point of view. So we have to support and promote secularism in every field of the life, and of course, we cannot give a definite time. For example, 10 years later, 20 years later, we cannot say such a thing, but it depends on our struggle. We have to organize our people politically at the moment. Together with the union movement, we are also the representatives of a political struggle in Turkey. And with our political strategies, we have to promote laicism, secularism, and we have to enlighten the people. It is one of the most important duties for us. Thank you.
ওকে, দ্বিতীয় প্রশ্নটা ছিল যে তুরস্কে প্রগতির দিকে অগ্রসর হচ্ছে, সেই অগ্রসরের পরিপূর্ণতা পেতে কতটুকু সময় লাগবে, মহিনার প্রশ্নটা। বলতেছে যে আমাদের দেশ মোটামুটি একটা ধর্মনিরপেক্ষ দেশ, কিন্তু এই ক্ষেত্রে অনেক বড় সমস্যা হচ্ছে বর্তমান সরকার চাচ্ছে গত 20 বছর যাবৎ যে মোস্তফা কামালের যে ধর্মনিরপেক্ষ রাষ্ট্র প্রতিষ্ঠা করতেছিল বর্তমান সরকারের এজেপি যে পার্টি, তারা ইসলামী নীতিগুলিকে প্রয়োগ করছে এবং ধর্মনিরপেক্ষতার সমস্ত বিষয়গুলিকে ধ্বংস করে দিচ্ছে। তো আমরা যারা সাংগঠনিকভাবে লড়াই করতেছি, বিভিন্ন কারখানায় যেতেছি, সেখানে ধর্মের ভিত্তিতে নয় বরং আমাদের লড়াইয়ের সেখানে কিছু সমস্যা হয়, কিন্তু লড়াইটা চলতেছে এবং সেখানে ধর্মের কোনো বিষয় আমাদের কাজ করছে না। এবং আমরা এটা বলতে পারবো না যে কত বছর পরে এটার একটা হবে, এই 10 বা 20 বছর পরে এটার পরিপূর্ণ হবে কিনা, কিন্তু এটা নির্ধারণ করবে লড়াইয়ের মাঠে আমরা কিভাবে কোন কর্ম প্রক্রিয়া বা কিভাবে রাজনীতিটা করতেছি। সেই রাজনীতির লড়াইয়ে আমাদের কর্মসূচিকে উপর ভিত্তি করে যে জনগণকে আলোকিত করে সে একটা ধর্মনিরপেক্ষ রাষ্ট্র পরিণত করার জন্য সবকিছু নির্ভর করে রাজনীতির কর্মপন্থা এবং রাজনীতির ধর্মনিরপেক্ষতার উপর যে আমাদের লড়াই, সেই লড়াইয়ের উপর। Okay, Momin, you have any other question?
না ইলিয়াস ভাই, আপনি একদম শেষের দিকে যান।
So Momin has no any other question. We'll talk again about all of issue what is influencing our workers in Turkey. Now we can finish our show. If you have anything to say to our viewer or workers of all over the world.
Son olarak yani bitirirken eklemek istediğiniz bir şey var mı?
Eklemek istediğimiz
Yani dünya işçi sınıfına vermek istediğiniz mesaj.
Yani başında da söyledik, bizim sendik olarak anlayışımızda uluslararası sınıf dayanışma, uluslararası dayanışmayla birlikte mücadele etmek bizim için çok önemli. Biz pandemi sürecinde şunu söylemiştik, DSF'nin de sloganıydı. İşçilerin sağlığı para babaların karından önemlidir demiştik. Bu uğurda yani işçilerin sağlığı ve daha iyi yaşamları için birlikte mücadele etmeye devam edeceğiz. Yani koşullar ne olursa olsun, yani çok böyle olumlu bir şey çizmedik ama Türkiye'deki yaşanan işçilerimizin yaşadığı, sınıfımızın yaşadığı sorunlar çok büyük. Ama bunu da birlikte mücadele ede aşacağız diyorum. Söyleyecek daha fazla bir sözüm yok. Dünya işçi sınıfına selam olsun diyoruz.
Yes, comrades, first of all, I would like to thank you for inviting us to such a good and useful show. Thank you very much. And the message I would like to share with you is that it's very important to give a common struggle against the employers in all over the world. So international solidarity is very important for us, as I said at the beginning of the show. And I would like to remind you the motto of WFTU during the pandemic period. We said that the health and farewell of the workers is more important than the interest of employers. So this is our point of view, and I hope that we shall overcome all the problems, and we will create a better world in which no one exploits another person. And that's all for me. Thank you very much again.
Okay, let me translate, please. Our bilinguist translator is absent today, so it was difficult for me because my English is not very rich. Let me translate. বলছে যে সর্বশেষ ধন্যবাদ যে এরকম একটা ভালো এবং গুরুত্বপূর্ণ আলোচনা করার জন্য। আহ, আম- আহ, এই যে সমস্যাগুলি আন্তর্জাতিক বা সারা বিশ্বের শ্রমিকদের যে সমস্যাগুলি সেগুলি শুধুমাত্র আন্তর্জাতিক সংহতির মাধ্যমে অর্থাৎ ঐক্যবদ্ধতার মাধ্যমে লড়াইয়ের মাধ্যমে সমাধান করা সম্ভব। যেমন ধরেন ডব্লিউটিও ওয়ার্ল্ড ফেডারেশন ট্রেড ইউনিয়নের যে একটা স্লোগান আছে যে এই শোভন মজুরি বা বেতনের জন্য লড়াই করা, সেইভাবে আমরা সারা বিশ্বের শ্রমিকদের সাথে ঐক্যবদ্ধভাবে লড়াই করতে পারি এবং আমাদের যে সমস্যাগুলি সেগুলি সমাধান করতে পারি। Okay, we will finish now in this moment, and we are giving to thank you very much to join us, and we'll organize another show next time. I think that will be better than this one. Thank you very much, and please translate.
Çok teşekkür ederim. Sonraki yapacağımız program bundan daha iyi olacağını inanıyorum. Katıldığınız için.
Biz teşekkür ederiz.
We also thank you, comrades. Thank you so much.
Okay, মোহন ভাই আপনি শেষ করতে পারেন।
Sure.
জি, থ্যাংক ইউ অল অফ আস। এতক্ষণ থেকে ধরে আপনারা যারা আমাদের লাইভটি দেখলেন, সাথে থাকলেন, যে সকলকে আরো একবার ধন্যবাদ এবং শুভকামনা জানিয়ে আজকের লাইভটা এখানেই শেষ করছি। সকলে ভালো থাকবেন, সুস্থ থাকবেন, শুভরাত্রি।
Okay, comrades.